morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning in Las Vegas. Good morning, Friday, Friday, Friday. I like it like that. Man, I love that song. I see a lot of y'all out there. Some of y'all got some movements out there. I've been watching some of y'all. I love it. 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 Uh-oh. Well, first of all, I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Christopher on the Honolulu. Eileen, good morning. Miss Inez in Dallas, Texas. Thank you so much. Hey, I'd like to thank Miss Konohara, who's also in Japan. Good morning out in Japan. Good evening in Japan. That's right, it's Japan. All right, I'd like to thank Miss Belinda Batiste. Uh-oh, my phone is going crazy over here. Miss Belinda Batiste, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Miss Caroline Baker. Miss Jones from Crew out in South Carolina, excuse me. Mr. Lance, good morning, sir. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Mr. Lance Kelly. We also like to thank Miss Evelyn. Mr. Regional Director, Mr. Byron Baker in Las Vegas. Good morning, sir. Christina, good morning. Mr. Daryl Ranson, good morning. Celia in Woodland, California, good morning. Dave Culver, the professor, is with us tonight, this morning, excuse me, on Friday. Christine, good morning. Mr. Ed Navarro in Fresno, good morning. Mr. Payon in Japan, good morning, sir. Miss Walker, good morning. Miss Castro in Phoenix, good morning, dear. Miss Walker, good morning. Mr. Marvin Carter, Regional Director out of Fresno, good morning, sir. Miss Kathryn Williams, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Sam Foster, congratulations on 3 or 4 new IBOs this week here in Dallas, Texas. Congratulations, sir. Your team is blowing up. Sensational, good seeing you this morning. Stacy Noble, thank you, good morning. First timer, good morning. Natasha, good morning. Natalie, good morning. Mr. Harold Gaston, good morning, sir. And also Miss Irene Santiago, good morning. Regional Vice President, Miss Jocelyn Driscoll, good morning, ma'am. Platinum, oh my God, thank you so much for on the call today. Miss Hayes, good morning. Miss Tracy Gilmore, part of the Bakery Organization, good morning. Winston Herbert, good morning. Zoe, good morning. Regional Director, Mr. Julian Lewis, there he is with his handsome self. Wow, Mr. Harrison Mill, good morning. I'm proud of you, Mr. Mills. Keep going. Keep going. Mr. Bill Bailey, good morning, sir. Al Randolph in Oakland, good morning. My goodness. Christopher McDowell, good morning. Mr. Edmund Smith, good morning. Mr. Harris, oh, sorry, said that. Oh, Regional Director, Mr. Tasha Ismail, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Miss Darlene Evans, Regional Director in South Carolina, good morning, part of the crew. Dwayne, good morning. Mr. Dominic Young, my favorite school teacher in Nashville, good morning. Mr. Fred Sherman, good morning. Miss Evelyn Phibbs, good morning for all those on time. Thank you so much. Hey, folks, as you know, we got a great call lined up. He just jumped on the call. He's getting his coffee together. We just chit-chatted, and he's ready to go. I'm excited. But before we announce this young man, Mr. Bree Clemens, where are you at, sir? We got something we want to say to Mr. Nelson. First of all, we know that we want to give him a crown. We want to get, where is he? I know he's on here somewhere. I know he's on here. Hey, Mr. Stacy Carter with his Lakers stuff on. Come on, you before the game. Is that tonight? All right, where's Mr. Nelson at? We got his crown for him. We're ready for him today. Hey, Mr. Ames. Good morning, Mr. Lawrence up there in Canada. Good morning, sir. I know Mr. Nelson's out there. There he is. We got Mr. Nelson. We got your crown ready for those. Oh, I'm sorry. Crown and Sevens tonight. I'm sorry. Crown and Seven is tonight. The Crown and Sevens is tonight. But we got your crown, sir, for today. Because we know it's going to be a great call. We know it. I anticipate it. I already know, sir. We got your crown. Where's Mr. Nelson? I know he's out there. Let's see. I just saw him a second ago.
I'm here.
I just saw him a second ago. There he is. Got his yellow. Oh, I keep getting flipped off over here when all these people jump off. So I got your crown ready to go, sir. Crown and Sevens tonight. But we got your crown, sir. We got
What's wrong with you?
It's going to be a great meeting. And with that said, before I introduce our guest speaker, we have a presentation because we know it's going to be a great call. Mr. Bree Clemens is in your hands, sir, before we introduce Mr. Nelson.
What's wrong with the view?
Sir, did you see your crown?
I see the crown. I see the crown.
The royal crown will be later tonight at 6 o'clock. Al's happy hour tonight. Tonight, everybody back 6 o'clock. Oh my God! 6 o'clock tonight. Al's happy hour. We'll have the Crown and Seven ready for you. We got the crown. My goodness, I can't even get this thing straight. All these people jumping on. So right now we have a little presentation before we get you on the call, sir. Mr.
Okay.
Clemens, I'm ready. Because we know he's going to do it to us today.
Mr. Thomas, it's already up. Just change your screen.
There you go. Look, that's Mr. Nelson. So everybody, without further ado, as you saw him, got promoted. Mr. Marvin Sapp sang that as international as SVP promotion. Les Brown, his father and spiritual father, sitting next to him, hang out with Richard Branson on Nectar Island. He's in the Who to Who, the one percenters in the business. He's a great community leader, a great father, a great mentor. He's also been on summer retreats in the Bahamas. What can I say? We all know who he is. We all love him. For you that don't know, you're about ready to know. Anytime you give a man a crown before he speaks and drops a mic before he speaks, you know he's going to drop it. So without further ado, the one and only compliment, Mr. Byron Nelson. Give him a hand.
How are you, sir?
How you doing?
I am awesome. And yourself?
Sensational, sir.
Good. I am blessed to be here, highly favored and excited. I like this view. I'm gonna change the view. There we go. Let's go here. Bam. There you all you people are. How are you? I overbooked myself this morning, which was not normal. I think it just, between all the funerals and the arrangements and the people I have to help, I just really stretched myself. So just know that you guys are, I'm gonna tell you how special you guys are. I was supposed to do a call, some of you guys know, for all of Mexico, Colombia, and South America this morning. And between just my responsibilities and my love and respect for Al, I had to actually cancel last night for that to do this. And I felt so bad because it's very rare that I double book myself. I'm really working on the stem cell thing to split myself in half. I'm really diligent and working hard on that. It hasn't come about yet, but I am going to figure it out. And if that doesn't work, my backup plan is the hologram. So I have been working on that. I am so just blessed. And I mean, those of you that might be your first time, then you don't know that really the king is actually Al Thomas. So, you know, he is the man, the myth, a man of so many hearts, wants to bless so many people. And again, I'm just really honored to be here. I like the format I did last week. I'll take off. Was there something I was going to cover specifically last week from this week? I can't remember. No, thank you, Tosh. So I'll keep on my same format, and that is opening up to find out how I can serve you. If you're taking notes, that might be your first question. Really, in actually identifying the people that you want to bring into your life, into your business, into your organization, it really comes down to servitude. It really comes down, I always am, when it comes down to building our business, it really comes down to character. So the character of the individuals you're looking for, it's more of a listening than it is a question. You know, generally when I have more space and time, and I'm going on 3 days with 3 hours of sleep. So, but generally I like to get on and get in touch with Mr. Al Thomas and ask him, how can I serve you? What is it that your team needs to hear? Or I want to ask you guys as leaders, since this is a leadership, how can I serve you? You'll find always when you're talking to people, there's a certain DNA of people. Mr. Al Thomas does it to me all the time. As I pray that I do it for him as well. And that is to ask, even when somebody's calling and they're sharing something and they have something to share, you'll find that there's a certain caliber of people. They do two things. One, they ask, and second, they do. So they ask out of respect that maybe they might be missing something. Like, what is it that you need? How can I serve you? And it's not manufactured. It's something that just comes naturally from who they are as a human being. And then secondly, when it comes to leadership, one step above the character or what has developed the character, you'll find that leaders actually just find ways to serve without having to ask. So you know you have an extraordinary leader. And it's one of the things I share all the time since it is a leadership. How do you know if you have a leader on your team? When your burden gets lighter. You know you have a leader in your midst when your burden gets lighter. Imagine you did a dinner. How many people actually stayed to wash dishes? You know, How many people come in and immediately see there's more chairs that are going to be needed, and it's like, where are your chairs? In the garage, let me go get them for you. Or see that the table is not set. Hey, let me come in here, and where's your dish? You know, where are the dishes and the silverware? How can I come in and set up? Or just whatever is going on, they're constantly looking to just serve, you know. And those are people that you want to keep in your life, in your business, and around you. These are people that figure out, you'll find that those are individuals that even for themselves, they come in and they figure out how to get qualified without you having to ask them. You know, you just give them just enough information, they'll figure it out. You know, they're paying attention, not in a student mode, but in a student application mode, meaning you only have to tell me once or twice. I may mess it up, but I'm going to figure it out. It's like, okay, so you have a call at 6 o'clock. I'm going to have 3 people on it. You know, they start to understand the dynamics of, okay, so what really is an applause to you is for me to have 5 new people on. How many people text Mr. Al Thomas and said, hey, could you let Mr. Nelson know, because I know that he's been promoted, I'm going to have 7 brand new business partners on today. You know, I got 5 brand new business partners on today. Are you just plugging in every week on your own? It was like, I'm in, I'm here, I'm excited. You know, well, that excitement diffuses and goes away quickly. And, you know, I look at the business more than anything else. It's a vehicle, right? And so if you look at the vehicle, any vehicle, it needs fuel. The fuel to this vehicle is new people. The more people you put in your vehicle, the faster it goes. The quicker you get to your destination. The more hands on deck help you to be able to acquire customers, build an organization, and have a thirst. The more people you have on your team that are built on character and leadership, then in turn they set a specific culture. And that's one of the things I've been talking about my team about. You know, I did a call last Monday, and many of you guys that are on, you know, my team is on there. And then, you know, I set a standard that if I'm not on, because I start all my calls 5 minutes late, even this morning, whether I'm running late, which is not generally often, or whether I'm actually on and I'm giving you time for your guests to get on because they don't understand Zoom, or maybe they didn't do it. And so, you know, I beta tested on last Monday, and we have people getting on. The call was only supposed to be about 30 to 40 minutes long, you know, and people were getting on at 8:05, 8:07, 8:08, 8:10, 8:15, 8:20, 8:30, 8:40, 8:50, 8:55. We had people getting on as late as 9:05. And for me, you know, that's totally disrespectful. I mean, I know, and even for the last 2 Fridays, I'm gonna have Jebri actually, you know, lock the call out at 9:05 for the next 2 Fridays. I don't want to talk to somebody. If I use this, and I was having a conversation last night with somebody important to me, and I said, imagine we were going out on a first date, and I said, you know what? You're gorgeous. You're attractive. I really like you. You know, I don't have any time. My name is Al Thomas. I don't have any time, but for you, I'm going to create time. So let's at least go and catch a coffee to be able to catch up. And we set it for 7 o'clock, and then she shows up at 7:55. Now, I didn't have the hour in the first place. I didn't need to go out in the first place. I'm not looking for nobody in the first place. We had great chemistry. We have a great common goal to be able to build something in our life with extraordinary people. I saw you as extraordinary. You see me as extraordinary. And you show up at 7:55 without a text and without a call. Do you go out on a second date with that person? I don't. So the reality of that is, why would you stand for that for your prospects and or your business partners? You know, it doesn't, for me, it's just totally disrespectful, you know, and it also speaks volumes into the people that you're looking to attract. Now, the thing that you have to be careful about within that conversation is, are you attracting yourself? You know, because when you start looking at products, and if you looked at yourself as a product and you looked at other people as a product, many of us have gone to a Macy's or gone to a Starbucks or a Tim Hortons or wherever we've gone, and ordered food or coffee or bought something that was damaged if you bought it from a store like Macy's, or ordered some food and it wasn't made to your liking. And some of you guys are very anal about it. You will go back with an attitude like, what the hell? Some of you are nice about it. It's like, you know what? This is just not acceptable. Some of you just take it and exchange it. Some of you got an attitude and be like, I don't need it. This is the way we look at people in our lives. And so my question is, if you were the product, how many people would be returning you? You know, I mean, how many people would I was dropping the mic. How many of you would be in exchange? It's like, you know what, this person here, you know, I look at people no matter what they're going through, and God knows I've been going through a lot. And I look at them when they show up in my physical space, as well as in my, my Zoom space or any space. And the first thing I look at, I'm going to share what you should probably look at, is I look at their attitude. Now, there's two sides to this coin. One side of the coin is, as a leader, you can't afford to not show up in an excited, enthusiastic space. You cannot, I mean, if Al Thomas asked me to go get a coffee, I'm just, even now, and we're peers. We have the same title. We make in the business, equivalent money. It's all relative, but we're in the cream de la cream. We hit the pinnacle of success within this industry, within this company, and we aren't in each other's lineages. But I'm like a little kid going to see him. When he calls me, he's like a little kid when he calls me. I mean, he's just always excited. I can't imagine showing up in Greg's space, Greg Travisano or Al's space. Oh, I'm here. Oh, yeah, I'm just, I'm cool. How you doing? Yeah. I see people do that with a lot of familiarity with Al Thomas, with myself, with so many other leaders. I was having this conversation with a couple of other SVPs, and we're like, we invite people and they just show up like, oh, I always hang out with the president. And that is one of the reasons that land of familiarity will kill your business. It will kill your business. I invite somebody to a Zoom call. I invite somebody, me and Brett had this conversation underneath Dom. I invite people through his prospects to come. If they don't show up with a certain air of excitement, I act like they're just anybody else. Whether we're at the park, at the gym, whether we're walking on the beach. Me and Dom have met many people on the beach. It's like, I'm not just going to start pouring out. Your attitude has already repelled me to be able to help you. We get on a Zoom call and your attitude is like, okay, I'm on. I have no reason. There's no enthusiasm. You're doing nothing to entice or elicit from the universe as if somebody that wants to change their life. A lot of people want to talk about the circumstances in their life. A lot of people want to talk about the blocks in their business. A lot of people want to talk about what they are not getting out of the business or how they have not had the success in the business, not understanding they're their greatest deterrent. You're your greatest block. It's almost like, you got to understand, no matter what ebb and flow you're in, whether you're going up line, down line, sideline, or around line, everything that you do in life, specifically to build dynasties, specifically to build a dynasty, to build an empire, to build a legacy, to build something that will last, you always got to remember that it is a volunteer army. Write that down. It's a volunteer army. I don't have to be on this call. I want to be on this call. Al asked me to get on this call. I want to be on this call. You guys are on this call. I want to be on the call. Do you really want to be on the call? I mean, did you wake up like it's Christmas this morning? I did. And I only got 3 hours of sleep after 2 days of no sleep. I mean, I was just excited. I was up last night. Brain is just going over how we show up in life. That's where all your money lives, is how do you show up in life? And I'm looking at the Dodgers, the Padres. I'm looking at the Lakers. I'm enamored, obviously, from a professional athletic perspective, because it's the most exploitive when it comes to seeing real life. And I've been utilizing that in the NBA. There's 450. I mean, do you know what it takes to make it to the NBA? I mean, that's massive. There's only 450 people on the planet Earth. I mean, you've arrived. You have made it to the NBA. The number one, in the world, to just of all the people. Only 5 people can get on the court. Only 12 are on the team. That's massive. And out of the 450, there's only 25 superstars. Superstars, galactic, ridiculous superstars. And of the 25 superstars, there's only maybe 5 that work to become legendary. Legendary. Steph Curry, legendary. It's a short list. This kid, Hero, is working to be legendary. He's 20 years old, playing for Miami. At 20, he is playing at legendary capacity. I got you, Justin. But he's just, the kid just has no fear. There's nobody who wouldn't want to be in the cut. The question is this, where if I take it to the next level, there's only one in the game right now that's working to be a myth. And that's LeBron. You will remember LeBron 20 years from now, just like you remember Jordan, just like you remember Kobe, just like you, that's legendary. And Magic, legendary. Because see, their intrinsic value of greatness goes way beyond the court. Their character, their statesmanship, their beliefs, their values, who they are, what they stand for, go way beyond the court. Everything about them is the same in every vein and lane of their life. Now you have some superstars, all you will ever know them for is when they're on the court. Kawhi is a superstar. The reason why Kawhi is not in the championship is he's not a leader. It's very simple. The reason why the Lakers got their three-peat with Magic, as extraordinary as Jabbar was, who broke every record, he was a superstar. But nobody knows anything about him unless you're old enough to remember, Bruce Lee, which I knew his family, and you saw him one time in his movie with Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon. And very few people are old enough to remember that. So all you'll ever remember is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the court. If you're a buff for sports. Dr. J. Legend. He's taken, and he's the commissioner for the NBA. There's certain people that just, and my point is this, as I use the example of Tiger Woods making 90 million in golfing, but made 900 million since he's off. Jordan making about 500 million, in his entire career, more like 350, and 56, 57 of that was in his last 2 years of playing. but he's worth over $4 billion. See, the people that live in a state of excellence and it becomes part of their DNA, they get paid 10 times more money outside of their main craft. Too many of you aren't even in the game of playing as a professional in network marketing. You aren't in the game. And I was sharing this with my team the other day. I said, you know, you spend time doing these podcasts. You spend time going to briefings and trainings. You spend time and money, you know, learning how to do Facebook Lives. I was looking at two of my, you know, I call them dead fish. Two of my I can water them. I mean, I have some dead plants that I could water and bring back to life. I have one of my RDs call me for one of my dead fish and dead plants and said, could you call her and bring her back to life? And I'm like, why? In my head, I'm like, yeah, I could bring her back to life. But the time and the nurturing and the money and the energy it's going to take to revive that plant, I could have built an entire orchard. I could have grown an entire farm. I could have I don't have the capacity to pour into somebody who doesn't want to feed themselves, who is not committed to changing themselves. You know, I was talking to somebody, and I don't want to be too transparent because there's some people still alive and I don't want to kill them too soon. But I called somebody for support over the last period of time, let's just say 24 hours. You know, Mrs. Driscoll knows what I'm talking about. And you want to tell me you're at work. I don't understand you earning, you know, whether it's Justin or anybody that's on this call, so many people I know that hit RD and you're hurting financially, or if it's Camille or anybody else, how long do you stay in ETL? How long do you stay in RD? Because see, it's not the position. For all of you, it's not the position, it's a business. If you build the business, then you build an income. If you build an income, you hit every position. If you're stuck on the position, then you're stuck on not ever making money. You can't make money on a title. I say it all the time, call me, you know, I truly blessed in this opportunity. God, I wish we could talk money. I really hate this COVID time and this transformation bullshit, excuse me, where we can't talk about money, because it's just, that's why I'm doing this business, to get paid. If I don't have a check coming, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm gonna be frustrated. If you aren't frustrated, but that frustration has to come out in your work. It doesn't come out in your attitude, and it doesn't come out in your IQ, meaning your I quit level. And I see, you hear people say, I'm still in. No, you aren't. Stop freaking lying. Just you saying that has told me you're not even in the game. You don't even have a jersey on. You're out at the parking lot. You don't even know what inning it is. Just you saying I'm still in lets me know that you came to a game and don't even know that the game you came to see was last week. Just that mentality. How a person thinks to be able to have an opportunity where all you have to do is go to work. And I mean work and work. You look at every person that I'm talking about at that myth level or that legendary level, what puts them that top 25, what gets them that $100 million contract. I can tell you for every person, I was looking on an interview about LeBron and all the people that hate and all the people that don't hate. It really doesn't matter. I never really liked LeBron. Even when he was in Cleveland, I was never a fan. I'll tell you what made me a fan of his is as I started to understand, not because he came to LA and because we are getting crowned today, but because what he was able to do from Cleveland to Miami, to Cleveland, to LA, what he was able to do building a school. This kid is not even 30 years old. He's built a school. He's become a statement. He does not hold his voice. He's not worrying about the political fallout. He doesn't care what people think. I was listening to Dwayne Wade and him saying, if you don't understand basketball, at least understand the metaphor. He said, I knew this this kid was not from this world. Not because of his skill set, not because of him breaking records, not because of him playing basketball. He said the narrative of basketball has changed because Jordan stayed in Chicago. That's part of the conversation Basketball Road today. And this person stayed here, and Damian Lillard is staying up here. And, you know, but when I saw him leave Cleveland and go to Miami, and our team in Miami had to go back and play in Cleveland. And when I tell you I was looking at this interview, it's very hard to stir me from unless we're live like this. Like, I'm sure if I open up one of the call and I ask one of you to tell me your journey, I can feel your pain because we're interactive. But looking at something like a TV or an interview on YouTube about someone's journey that is within the sports realm, not something that is over in Africa, Zimbabwe, what's happening in India, not dealing with trafficking, not dealing with rape, not dealing with the economy, not dealing with the political world, not dealing with orange face, but to just be looking at something from, it's something that's supposed to be an entertaining perspective. Because I love studying greatness. It doesn't matter if it's Beethoven or if it's Picasso or if it's Jordan or if it's LeBron. I love studying greatness because I aspire to be great. I'm going to have the same slumps as every one of you. Al is going to have, Mr. Thomas is going to have the same slumps as all of you. The difference is what you do with that slump. That's the freaking difference. Our slumps piss us off to go do something about it. Jocelyn gets pissed off and goes and does something about it. Renata and Boris, I mean, I'm watching her face cancer, and then she sends me a text the other day, we're number one. No matter what, I mean, she's facing 4th stage cancer, and she's still just like, look at what we're doing. This is how we rep Matrix. I'm looking at my team, that the same thing happened in Australia. Look at how we're repping Matrix. My certain leaders is like, it's like a badge of honor. It's not to impress me. All of these leaders I'm talking about are already SVP Platinum and already Circle of Champions all around the world. I have four people. Brian Sachs constantly calling me. How can I serve you? What can I do for you? It's my downline calling. I'm like, aren't I supposed to be calling you? He's like, every time I see him, he gets more excited. I'll never forget Brian Sachs' conversation from the time he came in to right now, over pushing 2 decades. He has always made me remember, I'm going to make you more money than any rep on your team. And I am excited to do so. That's my vendetta. It's part of my why. I want to make you the wealthiest person in network marketing because I'm blessed enough to be in your downline. How many people do you meet like that? How many people you have on your team, that's their goal, is to put you number one on the charts and put more money in your pocket than any other person that's come into your organization because of how you serve them first. Because of how you serve all these people. Everybody says, I appreciate you. I love you. I got you. Thank you for your calls. Okay. I remember I courted a friend, trained them, coached them. Then they ended up on somebody else's team. Then they came back and wanted me to train them. I'm like, it took a lot of self-development growth to move past that. It's like, hold it. It's like you had a choice of where you wanted to go. I'm sharing with you in the first place. I'm breaking down the industry and you went somewhere else, but now you want to come back to me and train you. I have that problem in my own organization. I have people in my downline, that literally I give them a choice. They go and learn from somebody else. They don't get results. Then they come back to me. No, that door is closed. Why? It doesn't, you didn't appreciate or respect it in the first place. Now you want to pimp me and take food out of my plate for the children that do believe in me, for me to go and feed you and your family that I don't get anything off of because either you're too far in my organization or you're outside of my organization. But I got more orphans like Camille on here and several others, Sharian and other people, Dave, that show up before my own organization shows up on every call. I could say I'm having a call at 2 a.m. They won't even question it. They'll just be like, okay, whatever, I'm setting my alarm. And my point is, how do you show up? It's how your team is going to show up. So I look at this, and I want to finish that story of what I was listening to Dwayne Wade. And I literally broke down in tears to hear, this was last night because I was just studying. And he was like, if you could ever put a taste, if you use your 5 senses, if there was a taste and you could taste hate, if you could, I mean, like the rawest hate you've ever felt in your life, if you could see look into a person's eyes and see them as if they wanted to kill your children, if you've ever seen a killer like that, and have a whole arena looking at you like that, and the things they said about your children, he said, this isn't your normal hate. He said, I can't even explain it. He said, I will never forget, I felt as if I walked into straight up a KKK plant. I swear I walked into the daggers, the pain. And when I saw how he responded, I mean, to have people spit on you. And he said, you don't see all that. There's a reason why we get paid $100 million a year. To be able to deal with that and not want to just retaliate. And we're sitting there like, you don't even know me. You don't even know my family. You know nothing about me. How could you? Because I went to take care of my family, I made a decision for my team, for my life, for my legacy to go from Cleveland to, I mean, they were burning his journey. It was all over the news. They were like, I mean, the haterade was so, you can still look it up. It was so, and you don't really understand that pain from a voyeur perspective because it's not affecting you. It's almost like it might as well have been an earthquake in California or a hurricane in Florida or, you know, a flood somewhere over in India. It's like, oh, that's bad. You don't pay attention until it happens to you. You don't pay attention to rape until it happens to you. You don't pay attention to your house being burglarized and you feeling completely helpless until your house has been broken into. You don't understand the pain of being called a wop or called a nigga or called this, you know, or whatever or slant-eyed this until it happens to you, until you live through, which is just amazing to me how many people want to have an opinion about something they know nothing about. Nothing about. That's why I said there's a duality in how your attitude shows up if you're calling yourself a leader, because this is a special call. But there's also the other side of that coin. Take 2 seconds next time you look at somebody and understand you don't know their past. You don't know what somebody is going through. You don't know if somebody just went through a stillbirth. You don't know if somebody just got, diagnosed with cancer. You don't know if somebody just lost their mother. You never know. And that is why, as a leader, how you show up to serve could change the entire trajectory of a person's life. You may ask, what am I talking about? Or how did I get on this topic? Because that's what ACN is about. How many people stand in the gap? Yes, I'm going to the word and bring God into it. How many people stand in the gap to pray and be there for someone else? I mean, daily. It's part of your daily DNA that you're consistently looking. I have found that the more pain that I incur from an empath, from an energy, from a healer, from understanding chakras, I understand the more that I go through vicariously through others or my own pain, the quickest healing remedy is to serve someone else. The faster I can find someone else to serve is the sooner, that is the quickest and fastest path out of hell for me. But you have to be that person. And that's a lot of growth. That's a lot of elevation. That's a lot to take on. But when I say it's a lot to take on, because it really is, and I would challenge if I sat down with each one of you, but you got into this business because you said you wanted a lot. So why the freak wouldn't you be taking on a lot? You thought it was just about going to get a simple customer, which you haven't done in the first place, to be able to do 1 a day, 2 a day. 1 a day will put you in an extra $4 grand a month. 1 customer a day. If you didn't even ever learn how to bring anybody into the business, but you just learned 3 of our services, and you learn how to just work an hour a day, 1 hour a day on mastering how to give away a service, give something away for free. If you understood that mentality. So my job is I have to learn how to give something away once a day. And you tell me after the first 30 days, I'm up to $1 grand a month, $48,000 a year, not including residual income. And I still haven't brought 1 person into the business. And then within 2 years, the compounding effect of the customers that I acquired, of giving something away for free, would double up, and I would be at $90,000 a year. And I still haven't brought 1 person into the business. And I'm complaining about not having any money. That I could get to close to $50,000 a year on an hour's worth of work per day. That's pretty powerful to me. That I don't have to rely on anybody else but myself. God forbid I learn how to become somebody that people like. Don't do that. God forbid you become someone that 3 people actually like you after working on yourself. You have to be pretty ugly. And I'm not talking about physically, pretty ugly of a person to be able to work this business for 6 months and not find 3 people who fall in love with you because you want to change their life. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the business. You really need to look in the mirror and be like, okay, do I have a third eye? Is there snot coming out my nose? What's going on? I mean, there's something really, do I have a booger? Do I got crust all over do I have body odor? I mean, you really need to have a self-reflection about your conversation, your attitude, who I am, to go 6 months and not find 3 people by learning how to master an invitation. And the invitation is, would you like to change your life, your income bracket, and your address? That's my only invitation. That's all I don't know. Everybody's like, well, what's the words? What's the peak? Is there a script? How do I write it down? Man, I just love your address. I mean, I just love your personality. Let me ask you a question. Would you like to change your address, your income bracket, and your life? It's impossible to ask that question to 10 people a day, 50 people a week, 200 people a month, and not find 40 to 50 people that will say yes, 20 that will actually get in, and 10 that will actually do something. It's impossible. And then learn how to convert everyone who says no into a customer. And still walk away with 50% of them saying, yes, I at least want to save money on my bills. The only way that system can't work is you're ugly. There's something wrong with your inside, your personality. There's something wrong. And you don't know if you know, I don't know what you're doing. It's impossible for a woman or a man, where everybody looking for love in all the wrong places, but I'll use it as an example. It's impossible for you to ask, as a woman, 10 men, or as a man, 10 women out daily without gaining traction. Out of 200 people, 100 are going to entertain you just out of curiosity. 50, based on how you ask, I'll be like, sure, let's have some coffee. The only way no one will go out with you is you're ugly. There's something wrong with you. We're in COVID times. That means you can't go out. You can't hug, you can't touch, you can't see people the way you normally do. I mean, things obviously are loosening up all over the country. It's impossible for me to go on Facebook, Instant Friends, Instagram, and go on to anybody else's page and just, hey, you know what? You're cute. Do you want to have some coffee? I saw you on the live. Hey, you're on this Facebook Live. You know, what's your name? Yes, I agree with that. Would you like to have some coffee sometime? Can we just exchange? Could you add me to your page? I'd like to have a conversation. It's impossible to invite 10 people to know you on even a social media and not gain some traction. Now you're going to gain traction with the wrong people based on you being the wrong person. And how you do it. I'm not encouraging this. I'm using this as an example. So when I look at someone like LeBron and what he has had to go through, and I look at what Jesse Jackson, I'm thinking of Jesse in the Olympics, not Jesse Jackson. But when I look at some of the people that have had to go through the temerity of past transgressions and had to fight through history, even women, the coach of Kansas and, Kobe, or, just for women's basketball, it doesn't matter who you use. I look at people across the board of, from every realm, every walk of life, Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, Persians, Blacks, the list is long. Everyone has their own journey. Everybody has their own story. Here's my question, if we're having a candid conversation. What's your story? What is your story? Who wants to even hear your story? Are you writing a story? Or is it a tragedy that by the time someone hears your story, you've been in for a month, you've been in for 6 months, you've been in for a year, you've been in for 2 years, and you had to tell your story while you've been in the business, that they're like, oh, hell no, I don't want your life. And it doesn't have to be about money. See, you missed the story. You lost the pen. You're stuck. You've got writer's block. You keep showing up at the computer, but haven't written a word. You keep showing up to class, but you don't have any new people. You keep showing up every week, 10 points, $150. That's even more insane, that I'm going to give you $150 for every customer you acquire within this product, within this realm, and 10 in 1 week. That's 2 a day. It's an extra $3,000 a week. That's just crazy. That's $1,500 if I got 10. That's $750 if I got 5. So I got 1 customer a day. You're gonna pay me $150. That's $3,000, $6,000 a month in just Visa cards that I can cash at any point in time. Not including the other bonuses. That's just free money they're giving you from, so the vendor is giving you money, ACN is giving you money, and you got residual income. You're getting paid, you're in a position of getting 1 customer a day right now through some of our products, and being able to put damn near off of 1 customer a day, close to $3,000 a week in your pocket, off of getting 1 customer a day. And how much is in your bank account? What are you complaining about? How much money have you made off of ACN during this COVID time? See, some people use it as an excuse. Other people use it as a reason. Some people use COVID as an excuse. Those 450 players, they use it as a reason. Some people opted out to play in the bubble. Others opted to play in the bubble. Oh, we don't have any fans. Oh, we don't have an audience. Oh, we are. It's the distinction between the amateur and the professional. So I got 10 minutes. I'll open it up. Jebri, if you can actually open it up, if you guys have any questions for me, hopefully this is, this is just straight coffee. Hopefully this wakes you up. Somebody should be awake. If I just got one person awake, then I did my job. Any questions? What's on your brain? How could I serve you this morning?
Mr. Nelson.
Yes, yes.
This is Julian Lewis in San Diego. Good morning,
hey,
sir.
Baby. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Man, I'm blessed after that conversation. I appreciate you.
Definitely.
My question to you is, as a leader, could you express, because sometimes it's hard for me to communicate this, could you express the freedom that you felt when you realized, when you had faith in the numbers and it was just that? Because I feel a lot of people don't want to do the work because they're afraid of, almost like a commitment in a relationship. They're afraid of giving it their all and someone not meeting them and then them getting hurt. And it feels like it's the same way in the business. They're afraid to give it their all and go in with the numbers. Mm-hmm. Could you explain the freedom you had when you figured out that it was real?
Oh, man. First, everybody should go back and watch the video I did with Steve Harvey last week, because that's where the faith comes in. You have to go all in. I don't know, we use the example of getting married. Are you married 99% of the time and 1% just in case it doesn't work? It doesn't matter what you do. How are you going to become a chess master if you aren't going to go all in? How are you going to be a great mother if you don't go all in? How are you going to be a great anything, a great parent if you don't go all in? If you're going to take care of your family, if you're attempting or trying, I hate the word trying, but if you're trying to lose weight, why haven't you lost weight? Because you haven't gone all in. Why hasn't your business blown up? Because you haven't gone all in. You're looking at your team. For those that have a team, it has nothing to do with your team. Get rid of your team and start all over again. You haven't gone all in. So you've attracted people that haven't gone all in. Maybe you brought them in when you weren't all in, and now you're ready to go all in and you need a new team. Easier to give birth than to give, than to raise the dead. I look at it and compared to working out, it's like, I'm looking at the little things, and Jay, we can relate to that all day. I'm looking at little things like in sculpting as I'm shredding, it's like even doing flies, of how so many times people will try and keep their arms completely out and come up instead of understanding you need the 90 degrees and to extend it all. The little techniques, my point is, in working out the way that I work out, and me and Julian go back and forth on this daily now, and getting down to, I believe he's at 7, but me down to 11% body fat and getting complete. I'm more sculpted now than I've ever been in my life. I'm watching the striations in my entire body. I'm like looking at it like a museum of the striations in each of the muscles of your body. And it's just amazing to me. It's not even to impress anybody else. It's not to take my clothes off for a woman. It's not to go out with somebody. Just to know what you can do with your own anatomy, what you can do in your own business. Like he said, my feeling when I got free in this business, to know that I saw the check move from a 3-digit to a 4-digit, a 4-digit to a 5-digit, to watch that money, to know that that came from being able to bless other people. I was talking to somebody about it recently. It's like, and they were like, well, what do I need to do? What exercises do I need to do in regards to get to my abs? I was like, there's no exercise you can do to get to your abs. You need to close your mouth and sew it tight. I was like, because all that is a difference of what's going in versus what you're burning, and I was like, you might want to try, IF, which is intermittent fasting. I don't know what to tell you. It's like, you don't know how to close your mouth, and then on top of it is what's going into your mouth, so it's like, when you really get sold out on something, as I am on ACN, and right now putting together, my team to go to war, I become completely obsessed. I mean, obsessed. I just put, I just, I have some of my leaders on here now. I just launched my 7. And so it's like, and then for me, that's a number of completion, to complete this year and launch the new year. So it's like, in being able to do that, and as I sent him a text the other day, when I put it together, I put myself, this answering Julian's question, I put myself in their space where I let, the first lesson was, all of you guys didn't respond. There's only 7 of you in here. That means one of you are holding up the entire team of 7. This isn't 20, 25, 50, 100. This is 7 people. So if you are not going to learn how to interchangeably work with each other, rely on each other, show up for each other, and now it's like they have to do presentations, they have to do edifications, they have to both. I'm making them learn how to edify each other. I don't want you edifying me. I want you to blow each other up. So what Jay was saying is, when I saw that freedom, when I started to believe, it was somebody, I had to believe in somebody. I believe in Al Thomas. You guys believe in Byron Nelson. You have to believe Julian, Jocelyn, the list is long. You have to believe in somebody else before you can believe in yourself. So are you that person that somebody else can believe in? That's the first thing. I saw people and met people, and that's the problem. You got so many people you can believe in, you believe in nothing. You actually destroy your own opportunity. I'm not for motivating people at this point. If you aren't self-motivated, die. That's just my philosophy. I'm sorry that it sounds a little crass, but it's like, if you want to get caught up in your own head and you want to sit up there and create, all you're going to become is toxic and poison going into my stream of clear water. I need to make sure that you're diverted into, a Dead Sea, into another route. But what I did for myself, and Magalili, I got you there. For me, it was just, I wanted what I wanted so bad as I do right now. It's just like what I said with LeBron. LeBron can't make any more money than he's making in the NBA than he's making right now. Why does he work so hard? As I'm looking at Schubert and all these people interviewing him, there's certain people, they only know how to operate at being the best. So, I mean, it's a certain level of excellence and pride about themselves. So I was listening to the interview on LeBron from teammates he played with on Cleveland, on Miami, all the Cleveland, and every one of them were just like, he knows the plays of every coach, of every team. He actually studies the game more than every coach he's ever played for. He is so committed to learning the game. No, he's not as pretty as Jordan. No, he's not as fluid as Kobe, but he is a workaholic at everything he does, which is why 17 years later, he is #1 in the game that has never been done in the history. He gained my respect. That's what I was saying in the beginning. You want the world to change, make the world gain your respect because you outworked everybody. And I didn't finish that story. I was sharing that you pay all this money, you get on all these things, you get on all these Facebooks, you get on all these lives, you get on all these trainings. When was the last time you invested in going to learn network marketing? You want to learn how to speak, you want to learn how to do iPods, you want to learn how to you want to write a book, you have all these things, you have all these different things that you got your hands on. You want to learn how to do social media. People are like, could you show me, and what's the best way? I see people spending money and time in all these areas. When was the last time you spent, in my first 2 years of ACN, I had to spend a minimum of money I didn't have, a minimum of $30,000, $40,000 on studying network marketing. Not going to nationals, not going to trainings, not plugging into RVPs, SVPs. Outside of ACN, I paid for courses online. I went to classes. I went to seminars. I went and met people in network marketing. And you got people that are like, well, I'm trying to get my social media. Well, I got to get my pictures together. Well, I got to do this. I got to do my podcast. I got to do my blog. I got to do this. Well, I got these new techniques and I'm studying this person. I've been up studying that person. Yet you haven't made a damn dollar in ACN, and nor have you put any sweat equity or money into it. And you want to expect it. You put it everywhere else. You'll get your face made up. You'll go get your hair done. You'll go and take care of and buy a new car. You do all this crap. You'll spend money on food. You'll get caught up on your kids. And when you finally get your life back together, then you think you're breathing, and then you're still distracted, and you still have not committed to understanding network marketing and ACN. See, you meet an Al Thomas or Byron Nelson, and I don't care how long you've been in, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And because you know us, it's like, oh, well, I know Jeff Weber, I know Byron Nelson, or I know this person, I know that person. You ain't done a damn thing. You're still in ETL. Does that not piss you the fuck off? It
Thank
pisses me
you,
off.
thank you, thank you. Yeah.
I mean, what the hell? You still got zero in your bank account from last month? I mean, I have bad months. Al has bad months. But we only have 1 or 2 bad months. There's 12 months in the year. I don't go past 1 or 2 months a year of having a bad month. I never go past 1 or 2 months in a year. I don't have a bad freaking year. I don't have a bad year. I don't understand someone saying I had a bad year in ACN or outside ACN. I don't want to understand you. That's a disease. That shit's contagious. That's worse than COVID. Keep that shit to yourself.
And then you try to help them.
And they drown you.
Thank you.
God.
Try to help them correct their wrongs, and they still don't get it.
Still don't get it. Julian,
Lord
did I
have
answer
mercy.
your question, Julian? Okay. I'll answer any other question. I'm sorry. I opened up saying I was going to have an open forum, and God just took over my spirit. So I hope you guys got fed today. I'll open it up and keep my word next Friday. And of course, I will be on at 6, and I have my call at 6:30. So, you know, whatever you guys need, I mean, you guys have access to. That's the problem. You have too much access to Al, myself, and all these leaders. Freaking take it and do something with it. I don't mind feeding. I can stay on somebody all day. Like Al said, then we try and help you. I can stay on all day if I know the next day that person's going to come back with massive results, whether they fail or succeed, but they came back. There's margin for error. I fall in love with the person who's going to fail forward because they're going to figure it out. They're going to figure it out. You know, I really don't have a problem with how people do business. People are like, well, this person's doing this and they're doing it wrong, or they're doing this. If they're doing something, they're going to figure it out if you keep doing something. Even if it's wrong, you'll figure out a week later or a month later, whenever you decide to wake up, it's not working. But you just showing up, you know, whatever.
Mr. Nelson, thank you so much. You know, it's so important when we try to correct people and they won't go back in their own time and practice. They got to practice the trade to get better to the game. It's a game, but they don't want to practice.
Right.
They want to shoot from the hip, and you try to correct them, they get pissed off. So anyway, hey, you know what? I want to say this in closing, because I wasn't a big LeBron James fan either. I saw they burned his jersey, and when I was there in Cleveland, actually we did an ACN meeting there, international, and how they, oh my God, and then he went to another team. But you know what? I have such a deep appreciation for him off the court, like you said, than on the court. As Brad Kish is on the line, one of my RVPs, had me go to Cleveland area to do a meeting up that way, and I actually went physically to the school, walked through the school. I was blown away. I had so much respect for that man. Yeah. He's done more off the court than he is on the court, and people don't understand. When we get leaders, we get in a slump, we get after it. We don't retreat. We go full force, and we show up. And I wish more people on this call would actually show up and get their pin changed. If you've been in the same position 4, 5, 6, 7 years, come on. Like Mr. Nelson say, what do you?
And if I could add one thing to that.
Familiarity.
If I could add one thing to that, Mr. Thomas, watching every person, but LeBron just happens to be the topic because we're taking a ring home today. But through all of history, including our business and everyone, you'll find that the climate of success starts with what you're doing. You'll make the weakest person look amazing if you decide to become a leader. And you'll make the greatest person on your team that is ignorant look completely weak because of how you're leading. the climate of creating this, you know, and what you plug into. And for those that are plugging in for the happy hour, after the happy hour, you might want to plug into my call, because I'm taking on 2 or 3 of my projects and working the list tonight. And if you want to know how to work a list, I don't understand when all you have to do is pick up a phone and text somebody, you know, and I'm actively doing it. That way I don't have time to spend another hour talking to a team, hoping they get a lesson. I'm going to make some people get rich. And the ones that aren't doing what I'm doing, you can plug in and figure out what the hell is going on. Because I have the system of work dictates, and the law of numbers, if I expose it to 300 people, which is 30 people a day, that I'm going to put 100 people in the business. 1 out of every 3 people that see the business. I'm going to do this for at least 3 people. I'm putting 100 people in their business. This isn't hypothetical. It's not that fucking hard. It's just work. It's not really like, oh, you're going to put 100 people in the business? It's just work. I do this. I've been doing it for 25 years. Alice been doing this. This is not magic. It's picking up a freaking phone, texting and calling somebody, and reaching X amount of people, and X amount of come in, and my check goes like this. I make this much without doing anything right now. If I actually do something, it does this. And most people are living off of this. So I don't know. You know, where are you showing up and what are you doing? I'm sorry, Mr. Thomas.
You know what? I have to trick people into making money. That's why I do contests. I got to trick them because they're just lazy. They don't get it. You know, if everybody applied what you said today, man, the bank would bounce. The bank would bounce. Well, anyway, tonight at 6 o'clock, happy hour. Matter of fact, my happy hour tonight is going to be a panel of RDs and higher to come on and answer questions for the organization. I'm just going to let the RDs and higher come on and talk tonight. So if you're an RD or higher, you get there before 6. We close the call down at 6:01. You can't speak, but we want the RDs to answer questions for everybody else who are those in the trenches working. And remember this, what I got out of today, which was very powerful. Would you like to change your address, your income bracket, or your life? Folks, I'm trying, how hard is that? How freaking hard is that? And yet let me shut up. You got me fired up. They want to know the key and the secrets, and they're getting in. They're not. Here's the crazy part. There are people on here that are RDs that don't even take notes. There are people, oh my, let me shut up. Hey, folks, let Mr. Nelson go. We thank you, sir. We know we had another commitment today.
Man.
We thank you so much for being on here today. We appreciate you. I can't wait till next Friday. Sunday tonight, 6 o'clock, come back for happy hour. Get the leaders on here. Get your questions answered. Bring your cocktail because it's not ACN sanctioned. We're just going to have a cocktail. We're going to talk about things you need to do to grow your business. And matter of fact, we probably go through and dissect what was said today. And all the RDs and higher that gets on there in time, we're going to have you as the panel tonight. Thank you so much.
I love you. I know you're on, Angel. I owe you a call. Angel Carmona, RPP. Angel is on. Angel and Jen.